Welcome back to the new video in Power BI, a new feature introduced in 2023, which is new card in Power BI. We have learned about how do we create different cards in Power BI, which are basic cards, where you can add single value. You need to create multiple this kind of single value, do the alignment of those, do the proper heading, proper size, width, and also the spacing between them. Now, with addition of this new card feature, which is a latest addition in Power BI, you can do plenty of different things in Power BI. You can add the background images all together. You can align them in one box without having problem of doing the alignment. You can also add the GIF images in this particular cards. You can also add the PNG files or JPG files in Power BI, and that too very easily. So you don't have to struggle to bring each and every element into one box, and you can easily get the answers. So let's begin this particular video, how to create a new card in Power BI. Now we already have seen different type of cards in Power BI. This is the area or the section in which we have all the cards. But this new card feature is introduced in the year 2023 and it's very interesting. Let us see in detail how do we create these cards. Suppose if I want to create a card, I usually go for this card which is given here as 1, 2, 3. And here I can just add the fields in this data set. Currently, I don't have any data set. So what I'll do is I'll import the data right now. So here is the data I have kept into the folder named as pet in the countries. Now, a company has come up with the accessories which are related to all the pet animals. They have found out the population of all the dogs across all the countries, cats, turtles, birds, and a X category of fish. So now they have a population. Now they want to do an analysis, and based on that, they will launch their product related to that particular pet animal. So that's the data. These are name of all the countries right now we have. So what I want to do is I want to import this data in Power BI and then create a card, and especially a new card. Now, how do we do that? Let's see in this video. So first thing, I'll just close this particular file, come back to Power BI, and here I'll just click on this Excel workbook. Now the data is pets in the countries. Click on open. Here, there might be many sheets, but right now I'll just pick up this sheet which is pets over here and then click on load. You have to first observe if the data is clean, you can directly click on load. If the data is not clean, you may go to transform data. I'll just click on load button and the data would be loaded in Power BI. Now, coming to this particular section here, suppose if I want to add in this particular card, I'll just click on this add field. If I select this option as birds, I'll be getting the population of birds across the entire globe. Same way, if I again click on this card which is given here, 1, 2, 3, and here I can add a field, let's say dogs. Again, I can click on 1, 2, 3. Here I can select the option and here I can put as fish. And same way I can add something. So now the challenge in the previous example was this one. This is the previous old method of card. We have to create separate cards. Number one, we have to take care of the alignment, take care of the height and width of those cards. Plus, we cannot add the images in those cards over here. Now, in the new feature, new card which has been come up, that is very interesting. This is the card what we have right now. How do we add this options in this new card? So, if this feature is not enabled for you, you can go to File, Options and Settings, select the options over here. And here in the preview features, as you know, every month there are new things which comes up, new features which comes up. Right now for me, the new card visual is enabled. If it is not enabled for you, you have to enable this, click on OK, and then you have to restart Power BI. So let's create a new page. And here I can click on this box over here and I can just click on this card, which is card new, and I can just stretch it on this place. Now here, if I click on data, I can select the option as birds. When I select the birds, I still have the option of adding data. That means I can add one more field. Whereas in the previous card, if you go back here and if you click on this button, you don't have the add field option. That means you can only add one field at a time. But the new card feature, you can add multiple data fields as much as you want. So I can just click on this add data. I'll select fish. Here I'll select dogs and I'll select the option as cats and so on. So now I don't have to worry about the alignment, the height and width, and you see how neatly they have been placed into this particular area. I can move this box anywhere on the screen and still it remains constant here. Now this is the best part about this cards, which is a new feature. Not only this, we'll be seeing 10 examples in this video how you can make this visual appeal much better. First thing, so this is the first card. I can copy and paste this particular card here. Now here, when I select the card, if I go to this add or remove elements, more options, these are the plenty of different options what we have right now. Many of them are common, but some of them are very interesting. Now here, when I come back to this, please, on the right hand side, if you see the shape option, currently the shape is given as rectangle. So I can also select the option as rounded rectangle. And if I click outside, this looks more decent, more attractive as compared to the first one. I can select this card, Control C and Control V. In this rounded rectangle, I can also select this snip tab both. So you see there's a small kind of slant on top of the angles left and right. Here I can also make it smoother. You see the size of top snips, I can change it. Size of the bottom snips also I can change it. So it looks little constant both the places, you see on this place. Now here comes the option. So I can Control C and Control V. We'll see more than 10 examples in this video. Here, when I select the option, let's say as rounded rectangles, here I have the option as customize style. When I select the options, I'll get plenty of different fields which I can play with. Now, here comes the top left corner, top right corner, bottom left corner, bottom right corner. I can select the top left corner and increase the percentage on this place. So you see, it gives a style where only the top left corner is been having an alignment, or you can see a curve on the top. Now, if you want, you can be creative and also change it at the bottom right corner to make it look better. Now, this looks like a leaf on the screen, you see. So here it becomes more attractive. Now you can play and bring your creativity on those cards. So same way, I can select the option as snip tab both on top. Here I can select the option as customize style. I can apply here the top left corner and the bottom right corner. So you see, it gives a fancy look as compared to the traditional cards. Now copy paste one more time. This was all about the shapes. We also have the option related to callouts. Here, the color of this particular title on the top, it's gray color, it's not black color. So here right now, this is the section for values. But if I scroll down, I'll be getting section for the label as well. So I can enable and disable the label, very first option. Here in the label option, I can click on color and I can make it as black color. I can also increase the size. Now, sometimes if you think this particular label should be at the bottom, you can select the position of label. I can say it should be below the value and you can place it accordingly wherever you think is right. Here, I can make it as bold to make it more appealing. Yeah, I can also change the font size and font style of those options as well. Moving on to the values part over here, we have this size of this particular values, which is 45. I can increase or decrease the size. I can also make it transparent to look it much better. This is the most important part, the alignment. I can make it as middle alignment or right alignment. Now, why this is required? Suppose if you think you want to add an image on the right hand side. Yes, we are going to see how to add an image or a GIF on this particular card. We would require on the right hand side. So we will put here left alignment. Sometimes we just want a background. So we'll select middle alignment. Sometimes we want on the left hand side. So we can put it here. The display units is simple. You can select the 1,000, millions and billions accordingly. So right now I'll just keep it as auto, which is right. And moving on to the callout value, this was the option. Now here in the callout, you can be specific. Right now, the settings are applied to all of these series. When I say all, it means all of these cards. If you want to apply only for the birds section, you select the option as birds. You can change the color of birds accordingly. You can select the option, let's say as dogs, and here you can change the font color for dogs, something different. I can select something else, let's say as X fish, and here I can change the color, let's say as blue. So depending upon the animal, depending upon the logo of the company, you can change those colors as well. Not only this value of the text color, but however, the background color also can be changed. So you can modify the background color as per your requirement. So moving on, this was one example. Let me Control C, copy and paste into the new sheet. Here, this was all about the callout value. Now, layout is very interesting. If I go to layout option, here the alignment of this particular text is given. You see the alignment of text which you can align here. Currently, the orientation is horizontal. I can also make it as vertical. Vertical when you want to show this on the left hand side of your screen and it will be placed properly. To do this activity in the previous version, people used to spend at least 30 minutes to align, to do a proper coloring and everything. Now here it is done in 5 minutes. Copy paste, I can Control C and Control V. The other option is the grid option. Grid option is something where you can decide the number of rows. I'll put here 2 rows. I'll put here 2 columns. So it's kind of a matrix where you can place 2 rows and 2 columns and you can put it at the corner or you can put at the top or at the center. So when you have multiple cards, this will look much interesting at this location. Now this is a grid option. Now Control C and Control V. Here the last option is the most common, is the horizontal. Horizontal cards are used when you want to keep it on the top at the same alignment as it. So you can copy paste, and you can bring as many cards on the screen as you want. Right now we just have 4 elements on which we can present, but in future you might have many different measures which you can present on the screen. So I'll copy and paste into a new page. Here comes the other option, which is card. Now this is the 5-star rating which I can give. This is the heart of this new card option. In the cards option, if I scroll down, we have plenty of different fields over here. First thing what I can do is I will remove this card. I'll just click on remove option. I'll go to the initial card, Control C, the most boring card. I'll bring it here. Now on this place, the cards, we have the option at the bottom named as accent bar. Here accent bar, if you see on the left hand side, it gives you kind of a 3D look. So if I select again, the color and the width I can change. So I can change the color as maybe dark blue. Here transparency you can change and you can change the width as let's say 5. You can also keep on increasing till you see it is relevant to your particular image. Now Control V, one more time I'll just paste it here. Now you can mix up the accent bar and the shape of those icons. You can mix up and make multiple combinations with that. So right now accent bar, I'll keep it close. We also have a glow option. You see the glow option where it gives you a glow outside the boxes. So this is a very simple example over here. Now this kind of cards you'll prepare when you want to prepare little fancy neon color cards. You can pick up those options of glow. In the glow option, the glow color you can decide. Again, it totally depends upon the product, the company, the client which you're working for. You can decide the outside and inside offset which you want over here. The position of those glow, where do you want? You can just pick up from here and you can align that. So this is little interesting feature over here. Now also let me paste the option over here. In the cards option, we also have something named as shadow. So you can create a shadow of this particular box on the left, right and bottom. Now imagine to do the same activity on this first example, it used to take minimum 30 minutes to properly align and give a beautification. But here with the new feature, this is a blessing kind of for all the users who use the cards every now and then. The next part is the borders. You can disable or enable the borders, disable or enable the shadows depending upon your requirement. Here I'll just keep only the shadows and you can put it here. Now coming back to the next part, Control V. Here we are coming slowly, gradually to an interesting part, which is the fill option. Fill is the most interesting part. The first thing, you can change the background color of this particular card. You can change the color for all the cards at once. This is possible. So I'll change for all the cards, Control C and Control V. Or you can also change the color of one specific card. How? I can select the option as sum of birds. For this sum of birds, I can select the option as this particular color. For X fish, I can pick up some other color. For dogs, I can pick up some other color here and I can put it accordingly. This is the color I can choose right now. So that is one area which you can work along. Now I just copy pasted one more time to show you the variety of options. Now here comes the most interesting part, the background image. Background image you can put to make it look more attractive and more appealing. How do we bring those interesting images? Option 1, you go to Google, download from Google, but getting a quality image is a bit challenging task. So I can help you with one interesting free PowerPoint feature from where you can bring this different images. Let me show you that part. In PowerPoint, if you go to the Insert tab, here we have the stock images. In the stock images options, if you're in the latest version, you'll get plenty of different options for various animals. Here, let me pick up, let's say for dog. I'll search for dog. There are plenty of different images you can pick up from here. Now, these are high quality images, which will be very useful when you are using it for your presentation purpose. I'll pick up one photo which has maximum space occupied by the dog here. So I'll select this dog, insert. Similarly, I have to add the other animals like we have the cat, turtle, birds, and so on. So now, similarly, I've added for the dogs, cats, birds, fish, and the turtle. The images I've picked up randomly. So how do I use these images in that particular card? The first thing, you can just right click on this particular image and then you can just save this picture into some location. I'll write here as dog 1 and I can just click on save. Now once you save, come back to Power BI. Here I will select this particular card. First I'll just make this background as white. Maybe for all of the cards, I'll select the background as white. Here in the background image, I'll choose for that particular card, which is dog 1, the image. Now here it is added to all of the cards, so which I didn't wanted it, but let's see if I select the option as fit. You see everywhere the image is added. So now this is a bit kind of problematic. So how do I deal with that? First problem, if you see, I wanted only dogs in this area. Number 2, the background image is a bit louder, so I can make it little less interesting. How do I do that? Let's see. Here in this particular image in PowerPoint, what I can do is I can first remove the background of this particular picture. So I'll go to picture, remove background. After removing background, I think I just need to click on keep all changes. This is fine. And then I'll keep the image on the right hand side. Now this is little interesting. This would be very useful for you. I have to crop the images appropriately such that the image is on the right hand side. Now, why on the right hand side? Because here the data will come 5 billion, 4 billion, 3 billion. Here the data will come on the right hand side. I can put the picture of a dog. So now I can select the image. Maybe if I want, I can give a better format over here. You see this way, I can choose a good format. So it looks much better. Now here in the file menu bar, I can save as, browse. On the desktop, I can write here as dog 2 or maybe dog 1. Let's say dog 1, but this should be a PNG format, not a PPT format. Save it and just this one. So now when I come back to Power BI, I'll first remove this image. Now I'll select the option as for all the dogs. Here when I scroll down, the background image would be again dog 1. So there are 2 dog 1. I'll select the PNG file, click on open. And here you see image is there on the right hand side, but not so visible because the image fit, I have to make it as fit. So you see how neatly it has been arranged on this location. So now similarly, what I'll do is I'll add for other animals as well. Let's go right now. The cat, this cat looks little funny. I'll just go to picture format, remove background. And then here I have to discard all changes, remove background. Mark areas to keep. I'll select this area. I'll select this area and I can select this area over here and I'll say keep changes. So the cat looks funny, but for time being, I think it's fine. And I can just go here. The cat on the right hand side, file menu bar, save as, browse. On the desktop, I'll write here as PNG file and I can write here as cat 1. Just this one. Come back to Power BI. Here I will select the option as cats. Then I can go back to background image. Here I can select the option as cat 1 and then image fit as fit. So now the cat 1 is added here. Now you see, if you compare with the first card, this looks any times much better. Obviously the photo of cat can be much better. This kind of card is much more appealing. People may not pay attention to this number or this particular text, but they can see the image and they can see the value and quickly take a decision what they want to take. Now similarly, I'll just quickly add the remaining 2 as well. Right. So finally, if you see, I've added all the images and it looks more appealing and much better. So this way you can add the images. But hold on, there's something more interesting left. You can make all the images live. You can bring them to life. So you can bring the animated GIF in those cards. Yes, it is possible. So let's see, how do I create the animated GIF? First thing, I'll just go back, copy those particular card, and I can paste into a new page. Here I can bring it back. Now this Control C, this particular images, Control V, I can bring it here. Now this cards, I'll just increase the size so I can show you the animated GIF. How do I bring the animated GIF? Again, we will take the help of PowerPoint. Here in PowerPoint, let me create a new slide on this, please. Now in this insert menu bar, we have some 3D models. So I can pick up here stock 3D models. Now here, these are high quality animated models. You can see the animated animals. From here, you might pick up those which are very interesting. So all this will have the GIF images kind of. So I can select this dog, number one. I can also select this bird. Then I can select this fish. And maybe I can select one more over here. Maybe this is the cat. Now these are 4 options I've selected. I can just click on this insert button. This will take some time definitely because it is downloading all the 3D models which are the animated GIF in PowerPoint. And we are going to use this into the card newly created. Let's see how it works. It took some time, but it has added all the GIF images here. So let's try to see those images. You see how interesting these GIFs are there. Now here I can just play those GIFs. I can also rotate and move it around so I can show them in a better manner. This is the bird on the left hand side. I can just click on play. I can show the bird in different angles as well. This is a dog which is available here. I can click on this and I can move the dog anywhere. Right. This is interesting. So now what I'm going to do is, let me show you. I'll just create one more slide. Home menu bar. I can click on this new slide over here. The first one, I'll pick up this particular dog, which is a GIF option, and I'll try to place it in the new slide. Okay, let me show you that again. So I'll select the dog, Control C, go to a new page, Control V. Remember, this GIF I'm adding on the right hand side. I will increase the size of this dog such that it is occupying at least 30 to 40% of the screen space. Here, definitely I can pick up here on this location and I can think of changing the height and width as well, like this. I can pick up. So it should be larger enough so we can use it in our visualization. Now, here we do not have the option of cropping right now, but it is okay. We can just use it as it is. Now, finally, when you think this number 7, so I'll just pick up here one more. I'll go to this place. I'll pick up the remaining GIF options as well. So Control C, I will create a new slide. And here Control V. So this image, I'll put it on the right hand side, increase the size of image so that it occupies maximum space on the right hand side this way. And you can just click on play button. You see how neat and clean it is and very interesting as well. Let's do it for the other GIF as well. Perfect. So what I've done from slide number 7 to 10, I have used all the GIF and I've tried to keep it maximum height and width, but only 30%, which is on the right hand side. How do I convert this into GIF? File, export. Here I can click on create animated. For time being, we'll just use one slide at a time. So slide 7 to 7, I'll keep it as 4 seconds. The size should be extra large over here. Make background transparent, click on create GIF. So on the desktop, I will rename this one would be as bird. So I'll put here as bird GIF 1. And I can just click on save. This will take some time. If you see at the bottom, it is taking some time to convert into GIF option. So bird GIF 1 is something which is animated. Now, once it is created, what I can do in Power BI, here, which is sum of birds, I want that particular GIF to be presented here. So remember, the alignment of this data is on the left hand side. I can select. Here I can select sum of birds. I can click on this background image. On the desktop, if you see bird GIF image is created, which is a GIF. Now I can just click on open. Here, this will take some time depending upon your machine configuration. I can select the option as fit. And now you see how beautiful this particular GIF looks like. So it becomes more interesting when you go for a presentation. People would be more interested. How did you bring that? Now, same way, this is a PNG or a JPEG file. But here, if you see it's a GIF, it's giving life to your data. Let's try one more. Now, this time I want to pick up, let's say, related to cats. Cats was interesting. Here I can go back with slide number 9. File menu bar, export option. Here I can say create animated GIF. It was slide number 9 to slide number 9. The number of seconds is 4, extra large, create GIF. And here I can put here as cat GIF1. So this will take some time, few seconds, again depending upon your laptop configuration, depending upon the size of this particular GIF. Let's come back meanwhile. Here in this place, I will select the option as sum of cats, browse that image. The cat GIF1 is converted here, and now I can just click on open. Now here in the image fit option, I have to select the option here as fit. Right. So finally, if you see, I've added all the 4 GIFs in this place, and this has given life to your data as well. So now this is one example GIF. Let's try to see one more example here. If you want to keep it very plain and simple, you don't want any fancy things over here, you can also go to the insert tab. You can bring this shapes over here, draw that shape, and now you can pick up some shape fill, which is the gradient or texture fill. From here, I can pick up some other dark variations. Now, I can right click on this place, select the option as format shape. The fill option which is given, here I can change the direction of this fill. Maybe the left would be lighter shade and the right would be the darker shade. I can remove unwanted things from here. And I can pick up this ground over here and I can just change the colors as well. So if you do not have the idea of colors, you can pick up from Google the famous colors which you want to pick up, the neon colors and other colors as well. So let me go to Google and let me search about some color code. Okay, so color code. So I've searched for something which is given as color code for background for black color font. Okay, so I can just write here as matching. Okay, and here these are the options which are given. And now I can just use this code over here. So I can Control C, copy this particular text over here. You can search for many better colors over here. I can click on this more colors. And in this place, if you see that's a hexadecimal, Control V, and I can click on OK. This is the color which is for black color now. So I can just copy this color code, or I can copy the image, or maybe I can just save this picture on the desktop, okay, or some location. I'll write as background 1. And I can click on save. Here when I come back to Power BI, and let me copy the first card over here, Control C. When I go back here, Control V. Now in this card, if I want to add the image, I can just quickly pick up the option cards. I want to apply for all the options over here. Background image, I'll pick up here background 1, and you see those backgrounds applied. So I can be choosy. I can pick up different options to make it look better, and whichever you think is conveying the right information, we can definitely use it. So I can Control C, and here I can just paste it card here. So we have seen almost 10 plus example in the new card in Power BI, and now this is an additional feature. There are still many things which you can explore, and you can find out what can bring productivity in your work in terms of representation of your report or dashboard. So I hope you have understood, and that's all for this video.